Hello and welcome. I'm Elijah Stewart, psychic medium, and I'm sitting with Debbie Harden, certified healer, Reiki master, ordained minister, and I'm going through the list. And how rude of me! And Teddy and Timmy, certified uh, therapy and
Service dogs.
service dogs. And I'm going through this list today because I wanted to talk about certifications and specifically the certifications that we have in the metaphysical world. The value of certification is kind of highly debated, mostly because there are a lot of, I don't want to say crappy certifications, but they're kind of crappy that are out there. So I really wanted to sort of pick your brain about um, what your thoughts were on the certification process and the value behind certification, and which certifications are worth getting.
I have a mixed opinion on it because there are some certifications that I think are out there just to basically get your money. But there are some that I think are necessary, one being the Reiki certification, which we are both Reiki masters, and I think that's very necessary. That's something that's being utilized in hospitals a lot now. So I think having that certification and having that you've gone through X amount of training is important. Um, Obviously, I guess you could call the minister type thing a certification, and yes, that's important from legal standpoints.
Well, and let's face facts. A lot of times, these certifications are for the purposes of being able to be insured,
Right.
and well, the insurance companies want to make sure that there's a pretty piece of paper to sort of back them up. So I can understand it to a degree, but there are a lot of programs that are out there that I don't personally see the level of value in. When I go through certifications, I go through them for the purpose of gaining more knowledge. I'm kind of a class junkie. I love taking new classes, and the certifications that I'm kind of looking at and or I should say that I'm going through right now, are all very mediumship based. But I I've seen a lot that I just didn't feel really great about.
Right. And again, I'm with you. If I'm going through a certification, I'm basically doing it at this point to gain the knowledge of someone else, someone who has a different learning technique or has different thoughts on a subject. Um, like with your two certifications that you're going through, they're both mediumship based. That's kind of you either got it or you don't type of thing. Like having a certificate on the wall isn't going to make you a wonderful medium.
Right.
You either have those skills or you don't. Not that they can't be learned, but you have those skills or you don't. And so sometimes the certifications like that, just to get the piece of paper, are meaningless. If you're doing it like you're doing it to learn new aspects, then that's perfectly fine.
Oh, absolutely. With learning new things, I think it's important that we're always kind of going for that. And I went through a period where I was looking for validation,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't get that from a piece of paper. There is no great piece of paper out there that's going to validate you as a healer or as an intuitive or a worker, and it took me a long time and a long list of certifications to come to that. Um, what what are some of the certifications that you feel? I mean, obviously the Reiki certifications. Are there any that you feel are particularly noteworthy? I know we had spoken a little bit about pursuing shamanic
Right.
healing.
And I guess with that, again, I don't know that a piece of paper is necessarily going to mean anything other than for me to do it. It would be that I'm seeking out the knowledge of people that know their stuff and can pass on that knowledge to me. And if that requires my getting a certificate, then so be it.
Yes, and I do. I want to bring up kind of a hot button topic here: root work, conjure, hoodoo. There are a few certifications out there for that now, and the reviews are mixed. I had the benefit of growing up with it. I I also took Cat Ironwood's um, hoodoo and root work correspondence course as a certification, and I learned a lot. I really valued that. I thought it was fantastic, and I really thought it was worth the effort of getting into the program, and I really, really valued that. And I know um, there's a big divide that's out there in regards to the value of that particular program. As I said, I liked it. But
Again, I think it's something that someone can gain that knowledge without necessarily taking a certified course, and they could be an excellent practitioner. That's not to say that getting that certification for somebody else isn't like what they need and what um, this is something that we've kind of discussed is obviously I like dealing with animals a lot and pet psychic type things.
oh yeah,
And it's something that, yes, I know I do, but I, still in all, I almost feel for my own self-confidence like I need to take a course or do something like that, even though I might not be doing anything different at the end of it. But I think it's a self-confidence type of thing.
and I have a really mixed opinion about going into certification with that mindset,
Mm-hmm.
because I've personally been really shaken when I finished a certification, and I didn't feel like it uh, really bolstered my confidence as much as I had hoped, because I put a great deal of emphasis on that piece of paper.
So you're saying that it almost set you back more than.
It did, and I went through a period when I did the conjure course with Cat Ironwood. I I was doing that because at the time was offering I was starting to offer services that kind of bordered between conjure and reading, and I wanted something to kind of back me up. And when I finished the course, I did learn a great deal from that course. I learned a massive amount from that course, but it it really set me back more in terms of having the confidence to do what I was already doing and do what I had been taught growing up. Uh,
Right.
that in the way that it was traditionally handed down long before there were any certifications. And I will say the value that I see in that particular certification, spell work, curse removal, that is a really shady area
Mm-hmm.
of the intuitive world that has taken advantage of a lot of people. And what I love with Cat Ironwood's certification, there's also the Association for Readers and Root Workers. I'm forgetting a letter in there, but it's it's this fantastic certification that has a very strict code of ethics that basically makes sure that the workers are legit, that they aren't taking advantage of people, and that it gives clients someone to go to kind of hold those workers accountable. And that makes me a lot more comfortable. And so I really see the benefit behind that particular certification, especially because now I don't do the conjure work, and not that I ever did it on a massive scale or anything like that, but it gave me a list of people that I felt a lot more comfortable.
Referring people to.
Exactly.
Okay.
Um, and that have fantastic reputations, and it continues to have a fantastic reputation because they uphold such standards. That I definitely see the benefit of. For me personally, it was kind of weird. It was a weird experience. So
And
I,
I can see that. I can see that. And maybe that's what's held me back from taking something like that. Um, Sometimes I think it's the people who come to us, though, who are more interested in the certificates than maybe
abs-
what it's worth, you know.
I could definitely see that. There are a lot of people that kind of are looking for that validation, and that's certainly not wrong.
Right.
Um,
But again, I think the validation should really come through, do they get the experience that they're looking for?
and truth be told, I think that personally, word of mouth is a far better way to judge whether or not someone is going to be suitable in what you're looking for than a certification is.
Right.
I mean, I'm one of the certifications I'm looking at right now is for angel mediumship, and while it's something I'll walk away with the certificate with, that is such a small portion of what comes up in a reading for me. Typically, I work more with guides and specifically in the evidential format. So I think that kind of having that certificate might even be a bit misleading in some instances. Um, what are some certificates that you look for when you're looking for a practitioner, or when you would look for a practitioner? Is there a particular type of practitioner that you would want to see a type of certificate or certification for?
Maybe, oddly enough, I guess the healing type practitioners, I would want to see some sort of certification. Whereas going to a medium or something like that, I don't know that that would necessarily impress me one way or the other. If it were, I don't know, maybe something different, you know, something that I'm not accustomed to, I might want to see some sort of certification. You know, we had talked about going to the Arthur Findlay School in England, and one of the things that they offered there was a mediumistic. That's a word, I think. Mediumistic art program.
It's a word
and
now.
It's a word now, and that would totally be something that I would want to do and get certified in, because that's just something different that you don't see, and so there wouldn't be a lot of people to maybe be compared to, so that someone could say, oh, you're really good at it, as opposed to, okay, I was trained at this place, so at least I know the background of what I should be doing.
Absolutely. And so I don't think that we really reached a firm yay or nay, because I don't think there is a yay or nay as for the certifications, but I do think we can definitely agree that they they aren't always everything. And first and foremost, follow your own intuition, I would say, when trying to find a reader or a worker who you connect with. Um,
Your gut feeling.
Absolutely. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to add? Any parting words of wisdom?
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, in that case, I will just urge you to check out Miss Debbie's website, debbyharden.com, which I, of course, will put as a link with the video and on the blog. And until next time, brightest blessings. Say bye, guys.
Bye.